This week on NBA G League Takeover, the Westchester Knicks are back-to-back showcase champions. We break down the historic moment. Plus, Quincy Olivari from the South Bay Lakers joins the show. And it's award season. Later, our G League insider, Gianna Hearn, predicts the G League regular season accolades. All that and more coming up on NBA G League Takeover.
This is NBA G League Takeover, sponsored by Kumho Tire.
Welcome to NBA G League Takeover. I'm Mike Davis. Happy New Year. As many of us are reviewing resolutions and implementing a reset in our personal lives, the G League just kicked off a reset of its own, moving on from the tip-off tournament and the Winter Showcase to now a 34-game regular season. But before we dive in to the new, let's break down the exciting finish of the Winter Showcase. Let's bring in G League insider Gianna Hearn and 10-year NBA vet CJ Watson to help us out and break it all down. Happy New Year, guys. So for the first time ever, we have consecutive back-to-back Winter Showcase champions. The Westchester Knicks got the job done, taking down Sioux Falls Skyforce 125-119. And let's just say the Knicks were definitely lit after this win. But the story really starts with the Skyforce as they came out of the gate strong, leading 70-63 at halftime. But the mixture of veteran leadership from TJ Warren and a spark from rookie Tyler Kolek provided the difference for the Knicks team. Warren led the team in scoring with 24 points, 10 coming in the third quarter alone, and Kolek provided that much-needed boost coming off the bench with 22 points and 11 assists. So Kolek went on to be named Winter Showcase MVP even after only playing in the championship game. So Gianna, you were there in Orlando covering the entire showcase. How special of a 4-game run was this for the Westchester Knicks?
It was so special because you didn't know who was going to win this thing. Like, every team was about a game apart from the top seed. And for them to be the 4th seed and win it, some people say, oh, did you expect the 4th seed? No, we didn't expect really anyone. Me, I did think maybe the Iowa Wolves are going to pull something off because we watched them be so dominant over the entire season. But hats off to the Knicks for being able to do it back-to-back. I've been in their locker room after these games, and they are, you said lit. That's a good word to describe it. There is water flowing everywhere. They're jamming, they're having fun. I mean, last year's celebration with Charlie Brown Jr. was probably one of my favorites, but hats off to the Knicks. Hey, they know something about the Winter Showcase.
There better be more than just water and some champagne there. CJ, you took in this game as well. Tell us, having a guy like TJ Warren, a guy who's been in the NBA for years playing with the Pacers, the Suns, a guy who can really do a little bit of everything. What kind of veteran leadership did he really bring to the table to help the Westchester Knicks take this championship?
Yeah, just stability. I feel like just throughout this whole game, you thought, well, when I was watching, I thought the Knicks were going to get blown out. So I kind of tapped into something else and came back, and now the game got closer. So in this game, you just saw a whole bunch of high-flying dunks, a lot of threes, a lot of blocks, athleticism everywhere. So, hats off to the Knicks for a great win.
Hey, the cohesion between a young rook and a veteran like TJ Warren, Kolek and Warren, it's a good pairing right there. But now let's give some love to the all-showcase team. 2 guys from the championship game are actually representing in this award. We got TJ Warren of the champion Westchester Knicks, as well as Josh Christopher from the Skyforce, who lost in that championship game. Also making the cut is Leonard Miller of the Iowa Wolves, a guy we spoke about a lot here on the show on TakeOver. And we got friend of the show, Jahlil Okafor of the Indiana Mad Ants. And lastly, Jameer Young with the Grand Rapids Gold. CJ, what do you make of this all-showcase team in particular?
This is a great team. I mean, you see 2 or 3 NBA guys on there. Just a lot of leadership, a lot of games played, a lot of high knowledge, IQ. So I like this team.
And Gianna, what about you? I know Josh Christopher, he just got some exciting news as well, right?
Josh Christopher not only had a really great game at Showcase, but he had a great December, and that's why he's the player of the month for the NBA G League. So hats off to him. But this whole Showcase team was very impressive, and I gotta say, Jahlil Okafor, there were some questions whether or not he could move up and down the court with that injury people are talking about, and talking to scouts, they didn't see any of that. They said he looked very impressive, his body was very fit, and he was doing Jahlil Okafor things.
Yeah, well, it's a critical time during Showcase. A lot of scouting, like you mentioned, going on there. But Gianna, help us out with this. So this is now a reset that is going to occur for all 31 teams in the G League. It's a new year with new stats, new records. So break it down for our audience, really what happens after Showcase as we go into the regular season.
This is the 4th year in a row that the season has been divided into 2 parts. There will be 16 games in the tip-off tournament and 34 games in the regular season for a total of 50 games. So right after Winter Showcase, all the records reset, team stats and individual stats. And so the end of season awards will all be based off of regular season play in action. So it's, like you said, a whole new deal, whole new year. And a lot of guys love this because you get to get used to things early on in the season. And then now your team has come together, you figured some things out. And so who knows who's going to be the champion of the NBA G League season, because things are going to change. Everything's even now.
All right, so let me just follow up with one last thing here. So CJ and G, so what's more important to the actual players of these organizations and teams? Is it the first half of the season with the tip-off tournament and the Winter Showcase and winning that chip? Or is it more about the second half of the season with the regular season starting anew?
I mean, for me, it would be the end of the season. That's what people most remember the most, the last thing you did. So I would say, I mean, if you didn't win now, try to win the next championship.
And if I'm going to add anything on that, I think he's right, but I also think that the Winter Showcase, there's $100,000 on the line for players that are on G League standard contracts. If you win, you get your guys that don't have the two-way deals or your assignment players, you get them a little bit of cash. So I think that is on the other guy's mind to get them that.
Okay, see a little bit of a monetary component there. That's certainly nice, a financial incentive similar to what we saw with the NBA Cup. But guys, we're just getting started here on NBA G League Takeover. When we return, Gianna Hearn sits down with Quincy Olivari from the South Bay Lakers.
This is NBA G League Takeover, sponsored by Kumho Tire.
What's going on, y'all? I'm Quincy Olivari with the South Bay Lakers, and I am a rookie. I was 4, I believe, and I was just a skinny kid that didn't like contact, so that's why I said I couldn't play football. I just like to sit in the corner and shoot threes up to the ceiling and not touch anybody. Probably my junior year, that summer, I got really sick, lost 20 pounds. I got hit by a car. I sprained my right wrist, then I broke my right wrist. And that just taught me so much perseverance. So yeah, if y'all see this little scratch on my shoulder, I destroyed a car actually. And I walked away with 15 stitches. I was crossing the street, car ran through a stop sign. Yup. And that year just taught me a lot about patience, perseverance, and just staying with it. Oh, it was a great feeling, but honestly, I've been playing 2K for a long time, and so I was like trying to put myself in that predicament since I could create a mod player just like Olivari, and then my favorite number at the time on the back of a Hawks jersey or any other jersey that I got drafted to, and just kind of envision myself there early. So when I actually have it, I was touching the jersey and I took a picture of it, and I would like touch the jersey again, and I would put it on, I would look in the mirror, and I would just like touch the jersey. I was just like, nah, this is real life. Oh, it's very important. It's especially, I know for us, we have the same scheme as the Los Angeles Lakers, so when I go in between practices, it allows me to get my reps and still fit right into the same mode that they're trying to build. But on a joking matter, I am teammates with Christian Wood, and he has publicly went on his Instagram story and said that he is convinced he is the greatest G League player of all time. And he gives the G League credit and says that it prepared him for the NBA. But I just think, coming from the greatest G League player of all time, he has given the G League credit. So it gives people like me who was in the rookie year positive attitude that if I attack this the right way, it'll put me in a great position. I bring something to a team that can't be replicated, which is energy. Energy can't be created or destroyed, it can only be transferred. So any positive energy is valuable. And on the court, I think shooting is a premium, and I believe I can shoot the ball at a high level.
He certainly possesses that energy. Infectious is what you called him, G.
Yeah, the moment he walked in, the smile that he had, it was like, oh, let's sit up, let's be happy right now, because he said he wanted to make every environment feel that way, and I certainly felt it.
Hey, I could listen to that guy all day. Quincy and the South Bay Lakers, though, they took down the Capitanes in Mexico City in a historic game for the G League. Get this, the Capitanes broke the G League's all-time attendance record with 19,328 fans at a single game. G, what does this historic moment mean for the G League and where the league is ultimately going?
I think what it means is that what the G League is doing outside of the U.S. is working. It's tapping into fans across the world because fans across the world love American basketball and the product that is put out, like the NBA. So the G League has given fans in Canada and now Mexico City an opportunity to see what American basketball is all about, and fans are showing out for this one. As you can see, I covered this game. I was doing the call on an altcast, and it was so much fun. And when you're doing play-by-play, typically you hear some sounds, but I could hear every chant they were doing. It was the loudest arena that I could hear from afar.
Hey, I love that, and it's a great sign of what's to come and what the future looks like for the G League. Also from that game, we have to mention, Quincy had a special moment with a fan. Tell us more about Quincy and his Steph Curry kicks.
Yeah, not only are they Steph Curry kicks, but they are his. He is on the Steph Curry brand. He's the only two-way player to get a shoe deal. And he says he wants to rep this brand with as much of the positive energy and the goodwill that he can. As you see, he took out his orthotics. He went up to a Lakers fan and gave him his shoes. And what's so cool about this is, well, one, the Lakers are very widespread, very wide reach. So there's always Lakers fans in the Capitanes arena. And so for them to see South Bay come, and this is the first time South Bay has ever beaten Mexico City. They've met now 5 times, and this is the first time they've ever beaten Mexico City.
Wow, so a great thing there. And you see, he took out the orthotics. Pro move there, but what a lovely thing to do for a fan, making a young fan's day come true. G, great stuff there. Coming up, CJ and I are going to be breaking down the mental side of this reset. How can players build off the Winter Showcase and crush it in the regular season? CJ shares his thoughts after the break.
This is NBA G League Takeover, sponsored by Kumho Tire.
All right, welcome back to NBA G League Takeover. Mike Davis here with 10-year NBA vet CJ Watson. CJ, take us inside the mind of a G League player. A brand new season, new records, new stats. Do you think most players enjoy the opportunity to start with a fresh slate?
I think so. I think I would just go back to one of my coaches. He would always say, take the whole season as 4 quarters, The first couple months is 1 quarter, the next couple months is the 2nd quarter. So now they're starting the 3rd quarter. So now you just reset your mind, score 0-0, the record is 0-0, and just go out and break new goals and set new goals and achieve those goals.
And I could see how a guy who might not have been playing up to par, playing so well in the tip-off and the showcase might feel that way. But how about a guy like J.D. Davison? I mean, this is a guy killing it in the tip-off tournament, averaging over 25 points per game. And, he went back to work quick, erupting for 40 points the other night against Birmingham Squadron. He scored 40 points. It was his second 40-point game of his career. He also surpassed 2,000 career points, the first Maine Celtic to accomplish that feat. So, CJ, clearly he's continuing where he left off. For a guy like JD to just get right back to work and do that thing, what's going on with him from a mental standpoint?
For him, I usually don't root for Alabama players, but this guy is pretty good. He doesn't look super athletic. He can shoot the ball, like a little chubby, but super quick. He plays at his own pace, and he's super athletic, like I said. I don't know if they're going to show the windmill dunk, but I didn't know what he's going to do with it, but he did something that wasn't just a regular windmill dunk. That was super aggressive, and he had put some power behind that.
He's sneaky athletic. He can shoot, do a little bit of everything. For a guy like him, what does he need to do? I mean, do you foresee him continuing? What could go wrong where he would go off the track and the season could be derailed with this brand new?
I mean, just probably like an injury, but we hope nothing like that happens. But the way he's playing, he's super confident. He gets his team involved, and even on the defensive end, for me, he gets a lot of deflections, which is key for me as a guard, guarding pick and rolls and stuff like that.
And for guys who may have, not been playing up to his standard, what are some of the other things you can do tangible wise to just kind of kick in a new gear and start the season anew? Is it maybe rethinking about game preparation? What are some of the things you would do, the tips or advice you would give to a player at home?
Just rethinking your energy. I think when you have positive energy, just like the last guy we were talking about, when you have positive energy, it's pretty infectious, and that spreads to your other teammates, and it spreads to you also. So just being positive in every manner you can and approaching the game in a positive manner. I always believe in the basketball gods will reward you in a good way if you're positive about it.
Basketball gods, they treated me well in middle school and elementary school, and then I guess I became agnostic, and I could not find a basketball god anywhere once I started high school. So, CJ, great stuff there. Thank you so much for all that. After a short break, it's prediction time here on NBA G League Takeover. Also, Gianna is going to be giving us her G of the Week honors. That's when NBA G League Takeover returns.
This is NBA G League Takeover, sponsored by Kumho Tire.
Now is the time to vote. Yes, voting is officially open for the NBA G League Next Up game. Be a part of All-Star Weekend and let your voice be heard. Vote now at gleague.nba.com. All right, now, G, let's go to you with your predictions for the G League regular season honors. Let's start with most improved player. Who are you going with there?
Mike, you got to put me in this pigeonhole. I mean, picking the most improved player at this point, I'm going to go with Yuki Kawamura from the Grizzlies because he has been showing out. From the first game he came to the G League, he showed how he could give out assists, dish them out. But now his offensive game is starting to come along. He played 7 games in the tip-off tournament. He averaged only 13.7 points, 34% from the field. I think he can improve that. 19.5 from the three-point line. Definitely think he can improve that. But also averaged 4.4 rebounds and 10.7 assists. Did you hear that number? I think when you're starting with a baseline of 10 assists, and then you bring up your offensive production, he's someone that could get most improved.
You know what? I almost didn't hear that number because I was so fixated on that sweet no-look pass he just dished out. CJ, tell us, I mean, somebody up for, comeback, most improved player of the year. What do you think about a guy like this? What's your thoughts on Yuki Kawamura?
This kid is a hooper, man. He pushes the pace. He drops dimes like he's a mini Steve Nash out there. So I love this pick by G.
All right, I like it. All right, so G, let's continue with the honors. Who's your prediction? Who do you got for Defensive Player of the Year?
I want to add one thing on the most improved player. That is the most improved player from tip-off tournament through the regular season. So that could be a rookie. So I wanted to add that note.
Gotcha.
But Defensive Player of the Year, Jamarion Sharp from the Texas Legends, the tallest G League player, and I think is also the tallest NBA player they're saying at 7'5". He's definitely very tall. He had a game where he had 8 blocks and 13 rebounds in the tip-off tournament. And he's consistently been a force in the paint, which I would hope so if you're that tall. Kyler Kelly, he's someone also I think could be in discussion, which he's already last year's Defensive Player of the Year. But Jamarion Sharp, I think, is going to come in and show us what those long arms can do in this regular season.
Yeah, he's been racking up those blocks. We've talked about him on TakeOver before. Guys, that is what I look like in 2K My Player. When I make Mike Davis 2K My Player, he's 7'5" and can do a little bit of everything. So let's hope Jamarion Sharp gets that Defensive honor of the year for the regular season. But we got a big one here, G. Let's talk about this. G League MVP, who's your prediction?
Maybe one of the quietest, most confident guys I talked to at Winter Showcase, Bryce McGowens from the Rip City Remix and Trailblazers. He's a two-way player. This past week, he scored 46 points on 80% shooting from the field. And this year alone, he's had a 46-point game, 41-point game, 39-point game, 37, 36, and 33. He's averaging 27.5 points per game. This guy is the real deal. Now, in the G League, there are a ton of guys. Like we mentioned J.D. Davison.
Yeah.
He definitely could be MVP. There's so many people. How do you pick? I don't know. So I went with one. I picked Bryce McGowens.
I like it. Lastly, real quick, G League champions, who are you predicting to win it all?
The Stockton Kings, because their roster just has so many people with NBA experience and G League experience. You have Scalaby Sierre, Colby Jones, Mason Jones, who lost 45 pounds, I'm pretty sure. He told me he's doing hot yoga. Boogie Ellis, Antoine Davis, Isaiah Crawford, John Elmore. Like the list goes on. This is just a very stacked and experienced team. I think that's going to bring you along the end of the season when you're going 50 games. It's a long season for G League players, like the NBA.
Gotcha. I like that. Hot yoga. Note taken. Last thing, G, you're going to give out your G of the Week honors real quickly. It's a family affair. Who do you got for G?
Two people, the Spencer brothers, Cam and Pat Spencer. They are the G's of the Week because they played and fulfilled their lifelong dream of playing in the NBA against each other. Pat, he was a National Lacrosse Player of the Year, and then he just decided to go back to college for his extra year and play basketball at Northwestern. And now look at these two. Both two-way players, one for the Grizz, one for the Warriors. And they're saying, what's up, guys? I'm here.
Shout out to Northwestern Wildcats. Shout out to UConn, of course, Cam winning a championship there last season. For Gianna Hearn and CJ Watson, I'm Mike Davis. We wish you all a happy new year at home, and we'll see you next time here on NBA Takeover.